Like, share, and subscribe.
1 to 7 are to be used. So I need you to understand that we have 7 options to choose from. However, this question comes with conditions. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're told that we're supposed to form a 4-digit code, and the numbers are not repeating. So that means they can be replaced. So to answer this question, they want to know what are these digits that we can create that are bigger than the digit 5,000. See, so we want to know the different codes that we can form that happen to be bigger. See, so the way I will answer this is I will array all the 7 options that I have, and that's to say I got numbers 1 to 7. But there's a twist here, because we're told that these numbers that, or these codes that we're supposed to form, must be an even number. See that? That's important. So what then do I say? Well, the first thing that's to be noted is to say that no matter the matter, this last digit must always be an even number, so that our code can be even, because the last digit has to be even. So long as the last digit is even, we know that our code will also be even. See, it can be divisible by an even number. So I will have 2 scenarios, and the first will be I would choose, let's say, 6 to be my first number. Okay, if I put 6 as my first number of the digit, that means I'm now left with 6 options. See, however, from the 6 options, I see that I can only be left with 2 even number options. So that 2 there, which is 2 and 4, see, can only account for the last space. So in other words, anywhere in between here, I will have 5 options, because I would have chosen one of these 3. Let's say rather 2 of these 3, meaning 6 and one of these 2. So let's say I choose 6 and 2 as my first and last digit. That will leave me with 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7. So if I choose 6 and 4 as my first and last digit, I'll be left with what? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So whatever I choose will always leave me with 5 options in the middle. Now, since they're not repeating, of course it'll be a matter of counting downward. So to answer the first part now, I can only reserve this space for one number, which is 6, and I can only reserve this particular space here. Let me use a black color. This particular space I can only reserve for 2 digits. Now, like I said, if I took 2 digits, either 6 and one of these 2, the middle will account for the remaining 5. So for the second digit, I'll have 5 options to choose from, and from the third, I'll have 4 options to choose from. Of course, the last one will be occupied already. So this is all the numbers here that start with 6. So I'll say numbers or codes that start with 6,000. Let me just say, yeah, right, from, let's just 6,000, digit 6, and that will be, of course, 1 times 5 times 4 times 2. That will give us 40. So now we have 40 codes that could be, or could have their first digit as a 6. Okay, so in the second option, I'll still have 4 digits to fill out, and I'll still have 7 options to choose from. So we already covered the first part, and as to say, if I have my first digit as a 6, but then I can also have my first digit as either a 7 or a 5, because any number after this, even if my first digit is a 5, will definitely be greater than 5,000. Alright, so in this instance, from these options that I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, if I'm to choose between 5 and 7, that will mean that I will have 1, 2, 3 even number options. See that? And I told you that this space right here will account for all those even numbers. So that means this time around I'm going to have 3 options, which is 2, 4, and 6. You see that? So again, whether I choose 7 and 2, I'll still have 5 options left. Or I take 7 and 4, I'll still have 5. 7 and 6 will still be 5. 5 and 2 will still be 5. 5 and 4, and so forth. You see, I will always have 5 options remaining. So to answer this now, for the first digit I have 2, or rather I will have 2 options, and the remaining 5, then 4, and then I set this last digit must be reserved for even numbers. And as you can see, this time around we have 3 even numbers. So the numbers or the codes that can be formed from this option or this array of numbers will be 2 times 5 times 4 times 3. And what would that be? It's going to be 120. So to merge the solutions together, including the one we had previously, would mean that we have option 1 plus option 2. So option 1 was that the digit must start with the 6, see, and that was 40. So this option then tells us that we will have 120 of those. So of course, if you add these up, you have yourself 160. So that means in total, I will have 160 different codes that will be greater than 5,000 and also happen to be even.